As I hinted to for about a month now, my 2023 Dodge Demon 170 has been experiencing some frustrating issues, from the unexpected smoke to not quite feeling the full impact of that promised 1025 horsepower. It's clear that my Demon 170 hasn't been firing on all cylinders, pun intended. But what if I told you I finally took my Demon 170 to the dealership to get it thoroughly checked out, and now I have some answers about what is really going on with my car? Well, sort of. If there's one thing I cannot stand, it's the feeling of being completely helpless when a corporation or a dealership turns your life into a living hellcat just because something goes wrong with your vehicle. Whether it's dropping your car off of a lift and then somehow blaming you, or even committing wire fraud with tens of thousands of your hard-earned dollars, like what happened to me. These situations can leave you frustrated and overwhelmed. But you don't have to face these battles alone, because my friends at Gordon & Partners are here to step in and fight for you. And with my special email address, butter@FordInjured.com, you'll be directly connected to some of the best lawyers in the country. They're ready to provide you with the support that you need and the justice that you deserve. I was pretty hesitant to leave my 2023 Dodge Challenger Demon 170 at the dealership to get it checked out. Now, we all know the Hellcats, Red Eyes, Super Stocks, TRXs. I mean, let's be honest here. Pretty much every high horsepower Stellantis product is a prime target for theft or mishandling. So as I was dropping up my car off, a lot of words were running through my mind, and not just about the possibility of it getting stolen, but perhaps I might have an engine issue since my car has been smoking. But I'm over 35,000 friends and the 71% not subscribed. You know exactly what I'm talking about. On top of that, there are countless horror stories floating around, some real, some maybe a little bit exaggerated, that I and some of my YouTube buddies have been accused of spreading, because we might not be able to afford Demon 170s, even though at one point we all own one. But it doesn't mean that the risks that we are talking about are not real, especially when you consider the very real issues that these Demon 170s blowing engines. And trust me, it doesn't always require a piston going through a block to cause some serious problems. Sometimes it can be just something as simple as a harmonic balancer not being installed correctly, which can seize your engine when you have less than 100 miles on the odometer. Or take the false fake rumor of a Demon 170 missing a bearing, supposedly causing an oil leak, but still had oil pressure, which defies logic. Even though I have this gem right here from someone who actually worked on the engine, who actually had their hands on the engine, who says in documentation that this engine was in fact missing a bearing. But I guess, us YouTubers, we like to forge paperwork and stuff, and Dodge just like to, give away 40,000 engines off of lies and stuff. But hey, I guess that's just what it is. But this just a long way of saying that minor issues can lead to a bigger problem. And then you have situations where even the replacement engine has stripped threads on it, bringing into question just who in the world is assembling these engines for the Demon 170. It's not like with my Z06, for example, that you had the name of the engine builder who personally assembled your engine from start to finish. And what a lot of you might not realize is how many Demon 170s have gone down over the last several months. Now, if you're watching this video and your Demon 170 is experiencing an engine issue, you are not alone. There is actually a private group for the owners who have been affected, where we're all trying to get to the bottom of what is going on. If you want to join this group, you can send me a message on Instagram at Butter the Insider, and I'll connect you to the right people who are in charge of that group. I didn't put it together, but there's so many stuff going on in the background that other people are starting to catch on. Now together, we're trying to compile an accurate list of which cars had problems and what specifically went wrong, and whether it's just a case of a bad batch of engines or a sign of a more widespread, more troubling issue. But let me shift gears and focus on the issues I need to address on my particular Demon 170 in this video. Now, my Demon 170 went to the dealership for 4 specific problems. The smallest issue was my radio was not allowing me to access the performance pages. Now, fortunately, one of you guys came through and sent me the instructions on how to reset my radio, and I'm happy to report that it actually worked. Basically, I think it was just basically it was the blue climate control button, the red climate control button, and the radio power button while the car was turned on that made my radio reset. And the next thing I know, after a few minutes, I was able to go push the button for performance pages, and then it started loading. Because at one time it was just basically saying loading and just kept doing dot, 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 dot. But in this time, the page actually came through, and then I turned the car off just to make sure that this wasn't like a one-time fluke, turn it back on, and then performance pages basically showed up almost immediately, and it's been doing the same thing ever since. Now, my performance pages, like I said, it finally loaded for the first time, and like I said, it's been working perfectly ever since. So, turned out that was the least of my problems. Now, the next item on my list was the oil change. Now, I had the dealership take care of it, and that set me back about a good, let's see, about $174. So, here go my dealership report right here. And then the most interesting thing that I noted on my bill was an $8.65 charge for a Sirius XM Wi-Fi free trial to be activated. See if I can get you guys to see it. There we go. Service supplies, Sirius XM Wi-Fi free trial activated. Then you can see right there in the corner, like $8.65, which I have no idea why it's on there. But if it's supposed to be free, why did it cost me $8.65? Now, I definitely will be asking them when I go back to the dealership about what the crap this was. Now, I also told the dealership that I wanted a sample of my oil from my Demon 170 to send out to Blackstone Laboratories. Now, this is my sample of oil. They just basically just put it in like an empty container and gave it to me. So I'm pretty sure I have more than what I need for Blackstone. Now, if you're not familiar with Blackstone Labs, they specialize in analyzing fluids from vehicles, I think, as well as like transmissions, differentials, and then they do like marine vehicles and aviation equipment too. So the analysis that they do will give you kind of like a detailed look of what's going on inside of your engine. Now, I ordered my test kit, I think, the other night, so I should have it within the next few days. And once I had the results, I'll be sure to share with you guys what's happening inside of my own engine. It's crucial for me to know everything's going on in order to figure out, you know, if there's going to be any problems before I get into some real shenanigans with my Demon 170. So I got plenty of oil to do a sample with. They didn't tell me if I had any oil shavings, I mean like metal shavings in my oil and things like that. So according to them, everything looked fine from draining my oil. So we'll get to that one, hopefully with no issues with the actual lab results. Now, the next issue on the list is the vibrations with my car that I've been experiencing. The dealership confirmed that they noticed that the vibration was happening at speed 60 miles per hour and over, and suggested that might be related to the tire balancing. This wasn't the first time I actually heard of this issue. I actually had like another YouTuber tell me that he had to basically balance his wheels and stuff out for him to stop doing the same thing that is happening in my car. So maybe that's the issue. Maybe it's the spark plug issue, because spark plug has a bulletin out that tells you that if you're getting like excessive vibration or a check engine light, that could come from the spark plugs not being balanced, not balanced, but gapped properly. They also said, the dealership also said that oddly enough, that at regular air pressure in my Demon 170 tires, my rears are wearing in the center of the tire. Like the outside is good, but the rear in the middle of the tire is wearing for some odd reason. Now, I never ever heard of that before. Maybe it's just because of the way the tire is built to it. Maybe the tire has like a concave to it, and that's why the middle part of my tire is wearing. I mean, I guess, but I mean, I have read in several places that Mickey Thompson tires can, you know, vibrate at like certain temperatures and speeds, which could be very well the culprit with my wheels, and maybe just that wear in the middle is just how the tires normally wear. So I have no ideas. I never ran Sticky Mickeys before, but I mean, the tire is still good. I mean, it doesn't help that I roasted them a couple of times, but that's neither here nor there. Now, this is one of those things that I wish that Dodge would have addressed from the beginning. In my opinion, if you want to take it or not, I think every Demon 170 should have came with a street wheel and tire setup by default. Now, we all know that most Demon 170s would never see a drag strip, so it makes more sense to me to start with a street setup with a street tire, which will probably eliminate this whole issue of vibration with these tires if that is indeed the cause of my car shaking. Between that and maybe the spark plugs. Like I said, the bulletin says that vibration can be a cause. Well, yeah, the spark plugs being gapped improperly can be a cause for your car vibrating. So whether that's the spark plugs or whether that's the balancing, we'll find out the next time I take my D170 back to the shop. But for those who didn't really want to, take their Demon to the drag strip, we should have just all had like a street wheel and tire package. And then those who wanted to make their D170 more drag strip ready, I think Dodge could have offered a crate package that had the Mickey Thompson tires mounted on the carbon fiber wheels, which, like I said, it just seems more like a logical solution to me. But sometimes the simplest solutions are very overlooked. Now, unfortunately, like I said, I need to take my D170 back to the dealership so that they can dig deeper into this vibration issue, because, like I said, I did not want to leave my D170 overnight, especially not, seeing some of the videos we've all seen, people driving through glass and stealing cars. And like I said, I definitely don't want to do that crap. But like I said, my D170 has to go back to the dealership. And this brings me to the next problem on my list, which is, as I mentioned in previous videos, my D170 started smoking after I switched to E85. On 93 octane, there was no signs of smoke from what anyone has told me. So this issue is new and definitely concerning. Now, unfortunately, like I said, I haven't been able to get it fully resolved yet. The dealership visit didn't provide all the answers, which means I had to take my D170 back to the dealership pretty soon. And the one thing is, like I said, I'm not leaving my D170 at the dealership alone overnight, especially when I went out of town and it would have been staying there for like 2 or 3 days. Now, like I just said, we've all seen the horror stories of thieves driving through showrooms and stealing hundreds of keys and driving off with Trackhawks, TRXs, Hellcats and stuff. I dang sure don't want nobody to steal my VIN 121 Demon 170. I mean, that is just crazy how they be doing that crap. So I'm not gonna take the risk of my Demon 170. And now I'm ready for it to be locked up safely with me, not left vulnerable at the dealership. So while I don't have the complete answer to the smoking issue just yet, I do have some news on the spark plug gaps. And as you might have just guessed, they're out of spec. Now, when the dealership checked, it didn't have the time to inspect all 8 spark plugs, but it did pull 2 of them out and both of them were off. Not only were they out of spec, but it didn't even have a consistent gap between both of those 2 spark plugs that they pulled out. Now, that's definitely not what you want to hear being a D170 owner. So I had to go back to the dealership and get the rest of the spark plugs checked and corrected. While there, I also get the wheels balanced and see if that might be the contributing to the vibration issue, or if they are misaligned, or if it's the spark plugs that are part of the problem. When will I be going back to the dealership? Now that's kind of up in the air. I do need to call them and see when I can get my car scheduled, but hopefully I won't have to wait another few more weeks to get an appointment. I just want to finally get some resolution on my 2023 Demon 170. And in the meantime, at least I have a worthy backup vehicle. My 2024 C8 Z06 with the Z07 package is definitely picking up the slack. Now the Z06, give you like a little update on that one. It just hit 498 miles. So I have basically about 2 more miles to go before it's basically fully broken in and I'll be able to unleash its full potential. Now I've driven both the Demon 170 and the Z06 back to back, and it's almost like a night and day difference between them. It's amazing to experience the difference firsthand. Now I'm thinking I might need to do a video comparing the 2 cars, which one is better, the 120K Demon 170 or my nearly 170K C8 Z06 that is basically fully loaded with the Z07 package. And with the Z01 on the horizon, that comparison could get a lot more interesting, but that's a story for another video. Now, once I finally get some concrete answers about what's going on with my Demon 170, I'll be sure to keep you guys updated with what's going on. The car felt okay when I drove it home from the dealership, but it was raining very badly from that whole Debbie tropical storm nonsense. And every time I was trying to step on the throttle, I was slipping and sliding. And so I was like, this is like, no wonder they make you sign that waiver to not drive this car in the rain. Just doing like a simple as zzz, and I'm just like spinning tires. And thank goodness that there is traction control on that particular vehicle. So I did take it out again another day and it felt a bit better, but I need to get those spark plugs fixed and see how it performs afterwards. So far, I have no check engine lights, knock on wood. I don't got no wood around me, but knock on wood. But knowing the spark plugs aren't gapped correctly, I'm going to be extra cautious with it until my Demon goes back into for service. Now, let me know what you guys think. Should I do a comparison video between the Demon 170 and the Z06? Just let me know what you guys think in the comments, and let me know what you guys think about the stuff going on my Demon 170 with the spark plugs and hopefully the vibration issue, and hopefully there's nothing wrong with it. And pretty much as always, I'll keep you guys posted on any updates, and until the next time, I'm out.